the WNBA is officially under federal investigation. Yes, you heard that right. The feds have stepped in after explosive accusations that referees have been rigging games and that the manipulation goes all the way to the top of the league office. According to multiple sworn statements, league officials, including individuals close to Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, allegedly directed referees on how certain games should be called. And right at the center of it all? Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever rookie who transformed the WNBA into a national sensation, and now, she's unintentionally become the face of a corruption scandal that could shake women's basketball to its core. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're breaking down how the feds got involved, the evidence that's come to light, the shocking referee testimonies, and how it all connects to the most polarizing season in WNBA history. It all started innocently, with a few questionable calls here and there. Fans noticed early in the season that Caitlin Clark was getting hit harder than usual, but wasn't getting the foul calls that other stars received. Online forums, social media clips, and even ESPN analysts began asking, why is Clark not getting any protection from the refs? Then came the viral moments, the hard elbow from Chindy Carter, the cheap shots under the basket, and the no-call plays that left fans, commentators, and even players shaking their heads. At first, most people thought it was just bad officiating or maybe bias against rookies. But as the season went on, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Multiple Fever games featured lopsided foul counts, technical fouls on minor reactions, and strange momentum-shifting calls that seemed too convenient. Fans began shouting on X and Reddit, "These refs are rigging the game. Clark can't even breathe without being targeted. This isn't basketball, this is politics." But behind the scenes, the truth was about to get much darker. According to leaked documents first reported by an independent journalist, two former WNBA officials quietly filed affidavits with federal investigators. Their testimony claimed that referees were being pressured to manage the optics of games involving Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. One of them reportedly stated, "We were told not to let certain players dominate the narrative. The league wanted parity, not one player overshadowing everyone else." That's when the phrase "league-mandated balance" started circulating in referee meetings. Translation? If one team or one player got too much attention, the refs were allegedly instructed to adjust the game's flow. Another official wrote, "We were specifically told to monitor physicality around certain players but avoid calling too many fouls that could appear to favor them. The direction came from higher up, not from our referee supervisors, but from the league office itself." That higher up, according to multiple reports, was linked directly to Cathy Engelbert's communications staff. Now, to be clear, these are allegations, not proven facts. But the feds don't get involved in sports investigations lightly. Once sworn testimony surfaced indicating possible game manipulation, the Department of Justice had no choice but to step in. So how did the feds get wind of this? It started with unusual betting activity. Sportsbooks reported suspicious patterns surrounding certain WNBA matchups, particularly games involving the Indiana Fever and top-seeded teams. In some cases, thousands of dollars poured in right before tip-off on underdogs who just happened to benefit from extremely favorable officiating. Federal regulators from the Sports Integrity Commission flagged the data. Within weeks, federal investigators started interviewing referees, WNBA employees, and analytics experts. That's when they reportedly stumbled upon internal communications, texts, and emails, suggesting that the league was actively managing narratives. In one exchange, an official allegedly wrote, "Keep the games close. We need TV numbers, not blowouts." Another line, reportedly tied to a communications director, stated, "Don't let Clark's games turn into highlight reels for her alone." That's the kind of evidence that raises red flags, not just in sports ethics but in federal law. Because if officials were deliberately influencing outcomes, even for PR reasons, that's fraud under U.S. law. And it could mean criminal charges for anyone involved. Now, let's be clear, Caitlin Clark herself is not under investigation. She's the victim of this alleged manipulation, not the perpetrator. But make no mistake, she's at the center of it all. Clark's arrival in the WNBA completely changed the league's economics. Attendance skyrocketed. Ticket prices tripled. Ratings broke every WNBA record. But with that fame came resentment. Many veteran players felt she was getting too much attention. And the league, according to sources, was desperate to avoid a perception of favoritism. So instead of protecting her, they may have done the opposite, used her as a balancing act to make the league look competitive. Imagine being the face of a league, but the league itself is allegedly holding you back for optics. Fans began noticing that Clark rarely complained publicly, even when refs clearly missed calls. When asked after one brutal game if she felt targeted, she simply said, "I just try to play through it. I can't control what's called." But now, that quote hits differently, because it suggests she knew something deeper was going on. When news of the investigation broke, the WNBA front office released a short, carefully worded statement. The WNBA maintains the highest standards of integrity and fairness. We are aware of the reports and are cooperating fully with authorities. Notice what's missing? No denial. No, this is false. Just, we're cooperating. That's what raised eyebrows across the sports world. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has faced criticism before, from how she handled player controversies to her public comments about media attention around Clark. But this is different. If the allegations prove true, it means the league office interfered directly in game outcomes, the one thing no sports commissioner can ever be caught doing. Sports integrity is sacred. Once that trust is broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild. This investigation is about more than just basketball. It's about power, money, and control. The WNBA wanted to grow, and Caitlin Clark delivered that growth overnight. But instead of embracing her rise, parts of the league seemingly feared it. They wanted parity. They wanted balance. But you can't manufacture fairness, not when it means sacrificing integrity. If these allegations are proven true, it could become the biggest sports corruption story of the decade. Bigger than MLB's sign stealing. Bigger than the NBA betting scandal. Because this isn't about money. It's about a league allegedly sabotaging its own star to protect its image. The feds are reportedly still gathering evidence. Subpoenas have been issued to referees, WNBA staff, and possibly third-party communication vendors. If federal prosecutors find proof of manipulated officiating or direct interference, they could pursue charges for wire fraud, racketeering, or sports integrity violations. Meanwhile, the WNBA is bracing for impact. Next season could look very different. New referees, new oversight, and a major image rebuild. As for Caitlin Clark, she continues to do what she's always done, play the game with class, grace, and focus. Even as the chaos swirls around her, she's remained the consummate professional, never pointing fingers, never playing victim. But now, the world sees what she's been dealing with all along. The WNBA dreamed of a new era, one led by its brightest star. Instead, it may have created a storm of its own making. The feds are watching. The fans are furious. And the truth, one way or another, is coming out. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about justice, integrity, and the future of women's sports. Because once the whistle blows on corruption, there's no unblowing it. If you want more deep dives into the biggest sports controversies and investigations, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over.